G'day there, ladies and gents. Mark Wallace here from Econisis, and welcome to a brand new video here on my channel. Hope you're all doing well. This is the first week of June 2023, and a quick video just to talk a little bit about the recent decision by the Fair Work Commission to increase the minimum wage here in Australia by 5.75%. On the one hand, one of the largest or the largest increase in the minimum wage here in Australia in history. At the same time, the largest decrease in real wages experienced by people on the minimum wage in history as well, thanks to the high inflation environment we are finding ourselves in. Look, overall, very justified, very much a midpoint between what the union movement was identifying as well as what, and Sally McManus in particular, looking at around 7% increase, and I think the Albanese government came in somewhere around the same, and the business group through AIG was looking at around 3.75%. So it's something of a compromise position. Saw a significant increase in minimum wage after a 5.2% increase last year, but still below that of inflation. At the time in which it was announced, the most recent inflationary figures had come out, in which what was seen as the declining inflationary impacts had actually bounced a bit, and we were back up to 6.8% as of the March quarter of 2023, which has raised a number of concerns with regard to interest rates. I'm going to do another video on interest rates and inflationary pressures here in a little bit to unpack that, but I just want to talk about the fact that there has been some commentary about the fact that there is a notional sort of wage and inflation spiral that's occurring at the moment within the economy, and that is contributing to interest rate pressures. Look, the reality is that is a very classical economics approach to it, and very much the case going back to the 80s and maybe the 90s. It is actually a zombie economics concept, in which case that actually doesn't apply to the same degree in the modern environment because of the impacts of labor productivity and the fact that the minimum wage here is not representative of wider wage growth, which is actually tracking it closer to 3.4 to 3.5%. So the arguments around the minimum wage being inflationary is a little bit of a scare point, in my opinion, and certainly the Fair Work Commission themselves came out and said that they thought that there was minimal inflationary impacts coming from the increase in the minimum wage. What the RBA is going to do, in my opinion, is probably going to increase interest rates on a number of fronts, just because the inflation figures has gone up, and because they're going to probably try and pin a little bit of the blame on the Albanese government on a number of fronts, both on the budget and also the minimum wage increase submission that they made to the Fair Work Commission. That, of course, is completely inappropriate and incorrect, and really goes to the heart of their fundamental misunderstanding and misinterpretation of what's happening with regard to inflation, or a reality check on their part, the fact that monetary policy that they've been relying upon now for the best part of the last 20 years doesn't work anymore, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the next video. But look, very much needed, very much a requirement in the current environment for some strong support for people on the minimum wage. There's 2.75 million people. It's not a big part of the labour force, but it's substantive enough that particularly affecting younger people and women who are in part-time jobs, and people who are in higher risk or at-risk groups. So definitely a great thing, definitely a positive thing. I think a positive thing for the economy, considering the headwinds that the economy is having, domestic economy is having, no, I don't believe that there's any inflationary impacts for that. But look, the RBA is jumping the shark a little bit here now. They've sort of increasingly gone against the more modern sort of wisdom, and are instead relying upon increasingly academic and theoretical and historical views of the economy, which are obviously outdated and increasingly irrelevant. But as I said, I'll talk about that in another video. But that's it for today, ladies and gents. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next one.